might have closed it out again like I did the last time. Okay, so we're going to be on number Kuf tests in the Pirish. Question is, what happens to the body in the 7,000th year? So he says, Gemara, this Gemara apparently is full of good stuff somewhere. He said, Tzadi base, he says, on the base, he says, he says, Tzadikim she'asa v'kodesh baruch hu l'hachiyosem, the tzadikim. So he says specifically, he's talking about tzadikim, we're going to bring them back to life. Even chozrim la'afron, they never go back to the dust again. Shenem v'yichach nishar b'tzion, so those that remain from Tzion. Let me find this up here. V'nosa b'Yushalayim, and also in Yushalayim, kadosh. So these will be holy people, or people in the state of Kedusha. Yom Elo Kol HaKosav L'Chaim B'Yerushalayim. So it's speaking over here about all those that are alive in Yerushalayim. Ma Kodesh L'Olam Kayim Af Haim L'Olam Kayim. So he says Kadosh is eternal, and so also these are eternal. V'im Tomer Osam Shanim She'asa DeKodesh Baruch Hu L'Chadesh B'Hem Es Olamo. So he says those days when Hashem is going to renew His world. So he will be elevated, that name, by himself, B'yomahu. So he says at this time, we bring another pasuk, Tzadikim Ma'hem Oisim. So what did Tzadikim do at this time? He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Osadachem Kanfayim, he makes them wings, B'nisharim like eagles, B'shatim Al Pnei Hamayim. So we saw this pasuk, and they're going to fly over the water. So this is like in alliance with the concept that they were not going to go back to the earth again. So I said yesterday that the Mayim is also Lashon Chesed. So Shene'emechavo Kein Lo Nira B'Hamir Aretz B'Mot Harim B'Lev Yomin. So he said then they will not appear B'Hamir Aretz in the physical earth, I guess. B'Mot Harim at the height of the mountains. B'Lev Yamin. So I'm not sure exactly what that pasuk was going, but let's say what he says. But via Rashi on this pasuk, he says that the Sham, Losam Sham Sha'asa the Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Chadesh as Olam of those years. V'yihiyahu B'Olam Zecha B'Charav El Shanim, and then this world will be destroyed 1,000 years. Ozen Tzadikim Heichun Heim, but what about the Tzadikim? Where are they? Because you can't be, they're not going to be buried in the earth, because the earth is Lashon Malchus. Malchus went to Bina. There's no earth. Lo nira b'chame aretz. But you're not going to find them in the physicality of the world, or whatever that means. When he switches the machlif HaKodesh Baruch Hu es haaretz, Lo nira, it no longer appears, it's not around. The fish anu b'lev yomin, because where are we? This is his translation. We are in the heart of the water. So they were not taking off on that particular phrase, what it means to be in the heart of the water. So I said I put chesed on it. So I don't know. Ramban b'toras adam b'shar gomel, he says of the Hainu sheyesh arach on the shama begufin. So now we come to the Ramban. The neshamas will remain in bodies. Elashi is gaber koich neshama al guf. V'zel neshama b'delov. He says HaKadosh Baruch Hu osadam kanfayim v'him shata b'nei hamayim. Now once again, this is our same idea here. Or they're shata b'nei hamayim, or they're whether the leiv yomim, something like that. What does this mean? The pirush HaKanfayim the vishas hanefesh malachos. That is, that the nefesh of the person is beluvish in malachos. So he said malachos mean malachim, or malach. So he says, I guess he made the word nefesh, which is, like a feminine idea, I guess, and he put it together with malachos so that it became like female. I'm not sure, just have to question about why he didn't say malachim. So he says, Levishas a nefesh, malachos. So the malachos, which are olam atzia, olam yitzira, which is zeranpin, let's say. Nefesh is in a more physical form, so nefesh is also malchus. So he says what happens is that these two come together. V'hislavish hagufi ma, then the body gets incorporated with those things, the two of them together. So it's a very difficult idea here, but we'll see. See, he's going to explain it out. But the last part is he says the v'hislavish haguf imo v'shalot tisbato bebitl hayisoda, so that it should not, because of the fact that it has this higher level of reality inside of it. Therefore, it has the Yitzira inside of this Asiya, so therefore, or it's not really that. It's really the Malach, which represents Yitzira, I said, or Ruach, that's better, goes into the Nefesh. And then, because of that, he says that it's closed there, a goofy ma, v'shalot is batel b'bitl of Yisoda, so in order that when the bitl of the Yisoda comes about, which is the Arma, the Eish, what is it? Eish, Ruach, Mayim, and Afar. He says the Afar will be gone, and then all you're going to have is the other three, maybe, I don't know, other two. Sha'achar techiyasim yehei lechem olim shekulu arach, because after they come back, they'll live forever. Shekol kolomar, she'ein mechozun la'aflan la'adei ad, they're never going to go back. Ki kiyum aguf yehiyah ke kiyum nefesh, because the body will stay, because the nefesh, and he just described how the nefesh is this higher malach within it, or it is in the malach, maybe that's more like it. The kiyum nefesh b'his yadcha b'das elya. So he says that now he really defines it more. He says, what did it mean? I mean, I could say this. What do you mean? What does he mean when he says that it's incorporated, or levishas nefesh malachos? So it's covered over by these malachim, or it's inside of them. And over here he says, what does that mean? He said, "V'kiyum hanefesh his yachad b'das elyon," is when it makes a yichud with the upper das. In other words, it's all elevated on the middle line, the elevator. So hamiskayim, that which is going to remain alive, it'll become, in other words, be so alive they'll be able to mashpia, something like that. Like one that is keeping it alive. That's the das elyon, and it becomes like it. Because it makes a yichud there. So even though that it says in regard to the instruction of the world b'shnas of Shemitah, which is of course our 7th millennia, and then it says what? What is that phrase? It became fortified. That's in regards to everything be'emes. That's true. What does he mean? This is a further explanation of what he said up above. It's just that this concept where he started up above, and it's a little difficult language where he said about the malach, and maybe we can look at that one more time. He says hakanfayim lebishas hanefesh malachos bebechinas malach. So anyway, there's a yichud there. That's all I can say. And he says, what do you really want to know what that yichud is about? It's about heros koach hanefesh al guf ha'ofel. I guess he means that which this dark body, the davka, and what happens? How does this happen? Because it's able to reach the das elyon, the davko b'das elyon, the clinging to the das elyon. Inyan kirun pnei Moshe k'pnei Chama. So the Chama, so what's it say, is the middle line. Let's say it's the Ferris. It reaches, so his face is like the place of the Chama. He actually reached the das elyon, which is panimi to that. Adkan. Ba'in sham o ba'orach. V'regam le'el sham v'sal v'shono. Kikil v'nefesh b'his yachadach b'das elyon. So this is the bottom line here. Whoops, I really messed that off the page. He says, once again, Kikiyum hanefesh b'his yachadach b'das elyon is when it's able to make a yichud with the upper das. That's going to be the condition that we're talking about. So Kikiyum malachim, like keeping the malachim going, b'his alos hanefesh al guf amavitelis hakochos hagufi. As I see, we're out of time. Because in order to be able to sustain the nefesh, it comes from this yichud that takes place with the das elyon. So this is like the idea of what you said that the kiyum of the sustaining the malachim. I'm not sure how that would go. V'his alos nefesh al guf, and the nefesh comes up higher than the body. The v'telas akasa v'gufnis. Yeah, Rabbi. I realize we're out of time. Okay, thanks for learning with me today. We're right at the beginning. We'll go to number Lamed next time.
Okay.
Call to. Okay, so just let me see if I got just a little bit of recording time left as Rebbe left. Let's just look over here, this last line. He says, Ki kiyo ma nefesh. That's what we want to know. So the question here is, what happens to the body? So he says the body remains as a result of the fact that it's the nefesh aspect of the light of the light within inside the human makes a connection with the das elyon. This seems to be what he's saying. And as a result of that it protects it from the destruction that's going to take place in the seventh millennia. I think that's the gist. We'll see when we get to number Lamed tomorrow. When that Hebga Kiyum Malachim, it's the same thing as like whatever that phrase was, Kiyum Malachim. This is maybe we could find it somewhere. I'm not sure. He said, "His alos nefesh al guf," so the elevation of the nefesh on top of the guf. That's what he really means. Is that the spiritual part starts to become the controller of our reality, the v'telas hakochos hagufnius, and in the end, that ability to be able to reach the das elyon like that, the tikkun elevator, that is what it is, and bring it up there and bring it back down. You have a whole completely different ball game. This is Baruch Fleischman. Thank you for learning with me at the Tikkun Elevator Call Out.